Okay, here's a walk around of my 2001 Toyota Tacoma S Runner. The S Runner is a trim package that Toyota made in 2001. They also made the X Runner and the Pre-Runner. They only made a couple hundred of them a month for a couple years, so there's not a lot of them out or sold or made. So yeah, it's got a 3.4 liter V6, dual overhead cams, and it is lowered, and it has some other modifications to it, and it has just under 200,000 miles, about 196,000. And I've driven this since it had about 170,000 miles. And the only thing I had to replace on it, besides tires and oil and all that stuff, was the clutch master cylinder. That's the only thing that went bad on it, and that's the only thing that I had to replace, and that's the only thing that actually kept me from driving or commuting. So let's do a little walk around, and it's also not the cleanest. There's some dirt on it, and also the tree sap right here. It's I think it's the worst part, other than the sun's faded, the faded paint right here. It's also faded right there on the roof, and also the headlights are pretty foggy, and I need to work on that. But so the first thing I did to it, so the guy who had the truck before us, it already had all the stuff that's on it. The only thing that I did to it myself was the stickers, because who does not love stickers? We also did the window tint, and I'm not sure what transparency this window tint is. This is the same that's on the side windows, and same in the back too. But the first thing I did to it, besides the tint, was posi dipped wheels. And I've had the posi dip on these wheels for like 5 years now, and I've only touched them up once. And as you can see here, it's kind of chipped a little bit on the edges, because I've had new tires since I first sprayed them down. But yeah, people said that posi dip would only last about a year, but I mean, they're doing just fine. Besides they're a little bit dirty. Sorry about that, but yeah, I mean, the black wheels definitely brought out the look. With the tinted windows, that made it a lot better. So besides the lowering blocks that it's got on it, I don't think I can get a, yep, I can, right there. There's the lowering blocks right there. So it's just like that, and these are mud flat mounts, and this thing would look pretty cool if it had some mud flaps on it. So the things that were done to it, it's got a TRD catback exhaust, and it sounds pretty mint. And the only other performance thing on it, and I'm not sure if this is stock, and also this has tree sap in it too. Looks horrible, but it's a lot better. But it looks good. It's got Linex lining on the bed, and it looks very, very good. So let me pop the hood here. It's a spec tray intake. Right here is the aftermarket intake by Spectre, and the battery needs to be replaced. And again, I've had this battery I've never replaced the battery since I started driving it. So yeah, and you can tell. But other than that, it runs great. It runs really great. And I don't have any problems with it, and the tires it's got on it is some Toyo winter tires on it. Those tires on the front used to be on the back, so that's why the tread is a little bit worn. But here you can really see the meat on it, and these winter tires are so worth it. I mean, winter tires are absolutely amazing. So let's check inside, and it's a 5-speed manual. First gear tops out at about 30, and second gear tops out at about 55. And this is aftermarket, this Pioneer stereo. And I also got that hooked up to a Rockford Fosgate amp. And that's also connected to a Alpine 10-inch sub. And since the cab in this truck is small, it hits pretty hard. And see, now this happens. Oh, this happens. So we have a little bypass switch. You gotta cycle it like that, and then it gives you caution about viewing the front seat. But then you get some cool stuff like that. And also on here you can change the color of this and the theme. And also the screen has a little, that icon, and it plays along with the music, and it's pretty mint. So, and also it can turn off completely like that. So let's start this thing up. And the website that I found that says that this has just under 200 horsepower and 230 foot-pounds of torque. And this truck only weighs about 2,200 pounds, so 200 horsepower is not a lot for a truck, but since it only weighs a couple thousand pounds, it actually gets up to speed pretty quick, and it's not that slow, but it is not fast either. And no, it is not fast, but it's also not slow. So and again, sorry for the dirty. Everything runs pretty mint. And let's hear how that. Now let's hear how that TRD catback exhaust sounds. So there that is. And it's not too loud, so you know, I'm not like those Honda Civics that drive around town, so it's not that loud, but it's also definitely not quiet. And I think the exhaust really fits the truck well, and it definitely sounds pretty good, because I don't want something that's like really loud, because, you know, again, this is not that fast. But you know, and obviously, who wants something that's quiet? Alright, that was a walk around of my lower 2001 Toyota Tacoma, as this guy doesn't know what lane he's in. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. And also pardon my very dirty windshield.